Next on Live at 5, some of golf's top names tee off in Chaska.
I'm Cale Remaker live at Hazeltine in Chaska. The gates opened up early this morning and there's been a steady stream of fans and players out here. We'll have live coverage coming up.
Also, an accident shuts down Interstate 494 and the Southwestern Metro. Will let you know when it will reopen. Plus, details of Vice President Cheney's visit to the Twin Cities. It is opening day, and we are out at Hazeltine National Golf Club where practice rounds got underway in the 2002 PGA Championship. Good evening. I'm Harris Faulkner. It's official. This week is Golf Week in Minnesota. Governor Ventura made the proclamation this afternoon, and we have live team coverage for you from Hazeltine. That's where my co-anchor Cale Remaker is tonight. He has the scoop on what happened at the course today and the latest on the elusive Tiger Woods. Cale?
Yeah, Harris, thank you very much. Well, this is a great job to have today. However, it is raining right now. It started raining about 15 minutes ago. We are just west of the practice area of the golfing range. Over my right shoulder, you can probably see a few players out there still hitting golf balls despite the rain, and there is a nice-sized gallery still out here. The gates opened at 7 this morning, and actually the first official event out here was not a real joyous event at all. It was to honor the late Payne Stewart. Many of you might remember that back in 1991, the last time that Hazeltine hosted the PGA, Stewart won the championship. He died, however, in October of 1999 in this plane crash at the age of 42. Early this morning, Hazeltine dedicated a bridge near the 16th hole in Stewart's memory. There's the bridge. Minnesota native Tom Lehman, who was a good friend of Stewart's, spoke at the event.
And I can't think of something more appropriate than to here at Hazeltine have this bridge dedicated to the memory of Payne Stewart for all generations. So on behalf of all the players and all of his friends, I just want to say thank you and God bless you. Thanks.
And that event to honor Stewart also attended by hundreds of fans who were out here early this morning. We're told about 50,000 people have been out here since the gates opened today, and many of them still sticking around, many running for the exits now with the rain. We saw a steady stream of people coming through the gates earlier today, many of them making an extra stop to check in their phones and pagers. Those items are not allowed inside the gates because the noise disturbs the players who are trying to concentrate. And today, golf fans also trying to get the hang of the PGA parking system at Canterbury Park in Shakopee. There's still some of the phones there. You're actually able to check in your phone and get it when you leave. You park at Canterbury Park in Shakopee. This is video from Chopper 5. And then you ride a school bus 8 miles west, actually to the golf course here at Hazeltine and Chaska. That's how most people are parking. Now, the tournament does not start officially until Thursday, so today and then 2 more days, Tuesday and Wednesday, of practice rounds. A lot of the players out here working with their pros, feeling out the course, feeling out the greens, and of course the one name everybody wants to know is Tiger Woods. Where is Tiger? Well, that's a good question. So good, in fact, that we asked our own Rod Rassman to look into it. He's got more now on the Tiger Watch. Rod?
As you mentioned, Cale, the one question that you will get over and over and over again out here at Hazeltine as people enter, as people exit, the question, of course, is where's Tiger? Minnesota has rolled out the proverbial welcome mat for the best player in the world. Check out the sign at the Leanne Chins and Chanhassen. Tiger eats free, it says. Over at Hazeltine here, the dozens of players that stepped up to the practice range, all of them impressed the crowds out here with their abilities. But that question still remained, where is Tiger?
I would think he'd be here by now if he was coming, or somebody would know something.
Yeah, Tigerless. Any idea when he's showing up?
We're here to see Patrick Harrington and Greg Norman.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You don't care about Tiger?
Tiger, yeah. Well, he'll do in a pinch.
Yeah, he'll do in a pinch. He probably wouldn't want to come out here now anyway. It's really starting to rain. But I did talk to the director of security out here. He says that Tiger is not going to show up today, pretty obvious, and will probably come out very early tomorrow. So if you want to catch a glimpse of the Tiger, you got to be out here pretty early tomorrow morning. He's scheduled to speak, I believe, at noon as well. So he will certainly be out here tomorrow, Cale.
Obviously, Rod also disappointed as well. He was hoping to catch Tiger today. There are 156 of the world's best golfers out here for this tournament, and a few of them are from Minnesota. And for more on that, we bring in our sports director, Joe Schmidt. You got a chance to talk to a couple of them today.
Yeah, I talked to a lot of golfers today. This is one of those days where I know I've got the greatest job in the world. Look at this. It's raining. There's still a couple of golfers out there raining pretty hard. Minnesota golf fans are still out there watching these guys. You know, this PGA Championship could have the best field ever assembled for a golf tournament anywhere in the world. The top 100 ranked players in the world are all scheduled to play here. And that means that 3 Minnesotans, some local guys, are going to try to match up against the best golfers in the world. And we talked to a couple of them today. Tom Dolby is a big guy himself. He's played in this tournament a couple of times before. Dave Tentis of Mississippi Dunes played on the Pro Golf Tour at one time. He's a guy who could do very well here. And Don Barry of Edinburgh has been the best local golfer in Minnesota the last couple of years. He also has something that Tiger Woods will try to steal from him this week. Don has the course record at Hazeltine, a 6 under 66.
I hope it's still a course record on Sunday. I got a feeling it'll be broken, but that's, you know, it's actually brought a little notoriety this week, so that's fun. And he's not too concerned about my course record, believe me.
From the 16th green to the 17th tee took me 25 minutes signing autographs, and I just, you know, if they want to sign, especially the kids, I want to sign them for the kids and have fun with it. So
you might as well pretend you're Tiger this week, huh?
Yeah, I'm Tiger for a day or Tiger for an hour, one hole or whatever, but it's just fun to play.
These guys are enjoying every minute of it, trying to absorb every moment. And Minnesota golf fans know who these guys are, so they're going to be very vocal when they start playing on Thursday. One other note I want to mention, the baseball players today decided not to set a strike date. They may do that later on this week. We'll have more on that at 6 o'clock.
All right, now you mentioned Tom Dolby, and you said most Minnesota fans know who these golfers are, so they know he's not the guy that invented Dolby and sang that song.
No, that's right. He is not the singer. He's the golfer.
Different kind of guy. Real quick, our location here, Joe. We are right up along the fence here of the driving range, and you would not dare put us here if there were just average Joes hacking away, because we'd be getting bombarded.
I'm left-handed. It's about 200 yards up. My slice would be landing in this tent. We'd be taking this baby down.
Yeah, the flag's only about 30 yards behind us. Haven't even come close to getting hit with the ball yet. We're going to be back with more from Hazeltine National in a few minutes. Harris, we're going to send it back to you for now.
Thank goodness those guys are so accurate.
Yeah, well, makes a big difference.
All right, Kale, we'll see you in a little bit. And stay with Eyewitness News for continuing coverage of the 84th PGA Championship. We'll bring you the latest from Hazeltine Live throughout the week. Tonight, there is new information on the stabbing death of an 8-year-old boy in New Hope. John Stone is live for us in the newsroom with the latest on the investigation. John?
Harris, the Hennepin County Medical Examiner released the name of the 8-year-old boy. It is Quentin Marcel Jones. The apparent cause of death, stab wounds. Police have arrested his mother. We learned that police in Brooklyn Park, where his mother used to live, responded to a number of calls in and around her former home.
Quentin Jones died in his new home, this New Hope apartment complex in which he and his mother lived for under a year. But his mother, who we won't identify until she's charged, lived for at least 7 years in this apartment complex at 8128 Zane Avenue North in Brooklyn Park. Police responded at least 9 times to calls there, including an assault and terroristic threat call in 1999, which police say involved a private data child abuse report. No charges were filed. On 2 subsequent days in 1996, they responded to verbal disputes. In 1994, a personal home accident. A juvenile male hit his mouth on the edge of the coffee table. It started bleeding. When officers arrived, the bleeding had stopped, the police report says. And one of the earliest calls to Quentin Jones's Brooklyn Park home, the birth of Quentin Jones. Officers assisted in delivering a healthy baby boy. A boy who is now dead.
It was really a heartbreaking, tragic situation, you know, for the family and for the friends and residents of the apartment complex and for the officers who responded to the call.
The boy's mother could be charged tomorrow. At that point, we'll learn more about what happened inside of that New Hope apartment yesterday. The first apparent murder in New Hope in 10 years. Harris?
All right, John, thank you. A truck crash is causing major problems for drivers in the West Metro right now. Take a look. This video from Chopper 5 shows the scene at I-494 near Valley View Road in Eden Prairie. MnDOT crews closed the southbound lanes of 494 there, and about an hour ago, they were trying to clear off the road. Officials say no one was seriously injured in the crash, and the road will likely reopen tonight around 8 p.m. New observation towers recently were installed along the Apple River for safety. Well, they were not enough to save a teenager's life yesterday. Police say Charles Phipps drowned after he fell off his inner tube and got his foot caught in some rocks. He was 18 years old. In July, the St. Croix County Sheriff's Department and the Somerset Police Department installed towers along the river to keep an eye on tubers. Security personnel manning those new towers saw the Phipps accident, but they couldn't reach him in time. Vice President Dick Cheney was in Minneapolis today to raise money for Republican gubernatorial candidate Tim Pawlenty. It was Cheney who called Pawlenty more than a year ago, asking him not to run for Senate against Republican Norm Coleman. Cheney's speech today focused little on politics, though, and more on the prospects of military actions against terrorism.
The only path to safety is a path of action, and the United States of America will act, and we will defeat the enemies of freedom.
A large group of postal workers rallied outside the hotel where Cheney was speaking. The workers were in town for a national convention. They protested against the Bush administration for trying to bust unions. Back to school means back to work for thousands of teachers, some who didn't even think they'd have jobs this fall. Coming up, we'll check back to see how many have been rehired. Also, the Twins announced plans for postseason tickets. We'll show you what you need to do to get your hands on some. Then Contact 5 goes shopping for health insurance. See how you can get the best coverage for the best price. And he starred in Peggy Sue Got Married. Now he's married to Lisa Marie. The wedding details still ahead. Welcome back. Many teachers will be heading back to their classrooms soon. Tonight, an update in our coverage on the many school districts that gave notice to teachers, telling them they might not have jobs to return to this fall. Vinita Sakar checked back with Minneapolis to see how many teachers have been rehired.
What is the word?
Every year, some districts have the unenviable task of telling teachers they may not have jobs in the spring. Budget cuts and student enrollment numbers play a part. Michael Gore is one of the people in the Minneapolis district who has to juggle the numbers.
It is very difficult for us to write a letter in May and letting them know that they no longer are employed with us, and that emotional aspect of it.
In the spring, Minneapolis announced it was giving notices to 419 teachers, most of them in the elementary schools. This summer, 170 additional teachers were let go because they didn't have up-to-date or proper certification. 86 others retired, 65 resigned. 268 teachers have been hired back. Plus, the district hired 85 new teachers for math, science, and special education.
So does this mean we can expect a large number of teachers to be recalled every year? Gore says not necessarily. 70% of Minneapolis teachers have been with the district for less than 10 years, and that means fewer retirements in the near future.
Gore is pleased so many teachers were hired back, but he knows the loss of some teachers will impact Minneapolis schools. In Minneapolis, Vinita Sakar, Eyewitness News.
Gore did say 25 teachers were asked to come back, but they declined. They either had found other jobs outside of teaching or said they didn't want to deal with the emotional roller coaster of being let go and rehired again. The Minneapolis School District wants to make sure parents are signing up their kids for the upcoming school year. Because of budget cuts, there are only 2 registration sites in the district this year for students, the new ones and those who want to change schools. School officials say now is the time to get in and sign up.
And we just want to make sure that on the first day of school that people are in the right buildings, that they get a bus stop, and that things are going as well as they could be.
Right now, there are still 2,800 vacancies in the school district. Officials say that's an indication many families still need to sign up their children. The Minnesota Twins are thinking ahead to postseason play, and they should. They're doing so well. Coming up, we'll show you what you need to do to get your chance at playoff tickets. Also, Contact 5 takes a look at health insurance, see how you can get quality insurance without emptying your bank account. Doctors say actor Jason Priestley is doing better. A day after he crashed his race car into a wall going 180 miles per hour, Priestley is in serious condition tonight, but doctors say he should fully recover. They say there's no sign of any paralysis from his spinal injury. Priestley broke his back, both of his feet, and suffered a concussion when his race car crashed during a practice run yesterday. Well, it looks like the Twins are headed to the postseason, and today the team announced how you can get playoff tickets. You can secure postseason ticket priority with a $200 non-refundable deposit on season tickets for next year. If you don't want to put down a deposit, you can enter a random drawing for playoff tickets. For complete information on Twins postseason tickets, just log at KSTP.com and click on featured links. Well, you may be among 16 million Americans who carry individual health insurance policies. Typically, those who do are self-employed, unemployed, or their employer simply doesn't cover them. It can be a treacherous market. Consumer reporter Ross Kurgis shows us how to avoid some of the pitfalls.
John Atkinson suffers from osteoarthritis and is recovering from a second hip operation. He's self-employed, so he pays for his own insurance. He's had plenty of problems.
Group versus individual are totally different insurance.
When his first policy got too expensive, John switched to a cheaper one, but he's ended up paying most of his medical expenses, including his first hip operation.
This one's an MRI bill. These are bills for various x-rays.
Consumer Reports' Trudy Lieberman says individual insurance isn't just a problem for the self-employed.
Most people will end up in the individual market at some time in their life.
If you work for a small business, are between jobs, or have taken early retirement, you're a likely candidate for individual health insurance. It isn't easy to get a policy, and when you can find a policy, there are often significant gaps in coverage.
Mental health is often not covered, maternity care is not covered, and most of them have very skimpy drug benefits if they have any at all.
Consumer Reports has some advice for anyone looking for an individual policy.
Well, we recommend that you start with your local HMO because the HMOs often had better values. They offered far more coverage at a lower price. And sometimes the local Blue Cross Blue Shield organization will offer similarly good values.
John eventually found a policy that covers his pre-existing condition, so thankfully he's not going to have to pay out of pocket for his most recent operation. Ross Kurgis, Eyewitness News.
If you are trying to buy insurance as an individual and are turned down, the state of Minnesota offers an insurance alternative called Minnesota Care. You can link to more information on Minnesota Care as well as more information on buying your own insurance from the Contact 5 section of our website at KSTP.com. Well, it was kind of looming all day long. We knew something was going to happen. I figured I wasn't going to get money in the mail. We must be getting rain.
Very threatening out there, but really we haven't had that much rain. We'll take a look at some of the rainfall totals from last night through today. And around the Twin Cities area, we haven't had the heavy rain that they've had in parts of southern Minnesota. Take a look at the very heavy storms down in the southern part of the state earlier today. Those storms then regenerated, and you can see another wave of moisture move through about the southern 2 to 3 tiers of counties. Now we've had some scattered showers again re-enter the southwest metro, and that's right around Chaska. And that's where all the action is this week, of course, out in Hazeltine for the PGA. And we're going to take a live look out there right now. And a lot of folks still watching the golfers out there. No lightning. Right now it's just rain showers. And the rain showers have been on and off heavier over the last half an hour to 45 minutes. 72 is the current temp, dew point 60 and a west wind at 12. Today's high temperatures basically were in the 70s today, but boy, with the rainfall, not that much. As I said, only less than 1/10 of an inch in most areas, nearly 1/2 an inch though up there in Forest Lake. And as I said, temperatures basically in the 70s at this hour. Power 5 storm trackers showing that shower activity right around east central Minnesota. That's about it for the next several hours. We're going to see this move on through and then another wave, and then it should be clearing up for the next couple of days. The Weather Center forecast overnight tonight. Scattered showers, maybe a thunder shower, low down to about 60, and that should taper off by midnight. Then for tomorrow, partly cloudy, a beautiful day is on the way for the second day. 75 out there at Hazeltine. We're going to see those temperatures gradually start to increase. Back up into the 80s, 84 by Wednesday, and upper 80s for Thursday. Oh, that could be very warm out there by the end of the week. Some scattered showers in there as well. We'll take a closer look at those as we get closer to the big event starting Thursday.
We'll get to see a tiger sweat.
Yes.
All right, thanks a lot. Eating a banana a day might protect you against a stroke. A new study in the American Academy of Neurology finds that seniors who have the least amount of potassium in their diets are 1.5 times more likely to have a stroke than people who get a lot of potassium in their diets. Foods rich in potassium include bananas, potatoes, avocados, cantaloupe, and spinach. People who take diuretics and also have a low potassium diet have 2.5 times greater risk of stroke than someone who has a lot of potassium in his or her diet. Well, next, Elvis Presley's only child gets remarried. We'll have all the wedding details for you, plus the happy reunion for dozens of Minnesota Guard members who took part in the war on terrorism. In the movies, Nicolas Cage jumped from a plane with a group of skydiving Elvis impersonators. This weekend, he married Elvis Presley's daughter. A spokesperson for Cage and Lisa Marie Presley says The two tied the knot in Hawaii over the weekend. Family and close friends were on hand for the small ceremony in Honolulu. The couple has been dating for about a year. It's the third marriage for Presley, the second for Cage. The last of Minnesota's National Guard's men and women returned from the Middle East today. More than 100 members of the 133rd Airlift Wing, Minnesota, were deployed over the past 6 months as part of Operation Enduring Freedom, the war on terrorism. Today, the last of the troops returned home to a homecoming celebration. Family and friends gathered at the airbase to greet their loved ones. Most of the soldiers have been separated from their families for about 4 months.
But it's good to be home.
Just relieved and thankful, and just ecstatic.
The troops flew supplies and equipment into areas of Afghanistan. None of Minnesota's soldiers was hurt during the mission. We'll go live again to Hazeltine when we come back.